made the guardian of all nations behave directly, but soon pride turned his wits, and also he I want to get to the point what I'm talking about. So and so. Anyway, basically, you know the story. He after pride, he wanted to be more like God and all that kind of thing. That's a whole other story, but I'll explain that to you in a few minutes also too. But I wanted to get to the particular part right up in here 1 minute, and I'm gonna show you something in Revelations. Well, I'll go ahead and paraphrase for you because it's right up in here. But anyway, he says what happened is even though he did throw Lucifer out of heaven, he also struck Lucifer with a lightning bolt and burnt Lucifer up. Now this was right before creation. Now, in the Greek mythology, it was the Titans. Satan, Shaitan, Shetan, Titan, Tetan, Tatan, Titan. All that's the same thing. The book Two Babylons explained that by Alexander Hislop. Two Babylons book explained that and all. Even Jeremiah's Natural Genesis, volume 2, I think. But anyway, the Titans were slain and thrown out of heaven and burnt up. They burnt them up. And then they used their ashes to make man out of. That ash that was burnt up is called melon, titanium ash. In the Babylonian thing, it was a god by the name of Kingu. The original word for king comes from the Babylonian god Kingu, who was a chaos goddess, a satanic goddess that was burnt up, and his blood was used to make man out of, which is melanin, Kingu. So anytime you hear the word king, the original word king is another word for melanin. So the white man can't never be a king. He's in imitation. So King of King, Lord of Lord is the Christ. Now, the key is he was slain. They say Lucifer was slain. And Lucifer's, the fallen angel was slain at the beginning of the world. That's basically the Greek mythology and basically the Hebrew mythology, if you get the mythology. Now, if you go to Revelations, they talk about the books being open. And there are going to be people that read from the book of life, and the people whose name is not found on the book of life will be cast into a fiery furnace. Okay? But it clearly says in Revelations, the one whose name is written on the book of life was slain at the beginning of the goddamn earth. So it's telling you, we get a Bible right now, you can read this thing. But if you know history, you'll know who it is. It's telling you that Satan was slain because Archangel Michael slayed Lucifer and Samuel. It's all the same story. You get different versions of it in here, the Hebrew myth. At the beginning of the world. But it also says in Revelations, the one that has got the name written in the book and the seal on their foreheads, the third eye, was slain at the beginning of the earth. You get where I'm coming from here? Now going back to this particular part. So Reverend Trevor Ravenscroft says that we got to be on hand for this Leviathan energy. You see, the Leviathan energy. We got to be on hand for this Leviathan energy because it's coming in 1998. Now what is he talking about? Let's go into Leviathan so you can understand this thing. Y'all all right?
Yes.
Okay. In 1990, I received the book Great Cosmic Mother. My ex-girlfriend, she's from Long Island now, she was reading this stuff and she was saying, look, they're saying up in this book that there was a female entity that was ruling before these male gods. And even Ra and them niggas overthrew her. That's why I didn't call his name out in the shit. I said, man, that's some old cracker bitch. She talking junk. I said, I understand about the goddess thing, but they were all balanced in Egypt. Didn't want to deal with it. Okay, it came round because I understood something. Now, I didn't say nothing because we was all into the Afrocentricity. And I didn't want to basically say something. I didn't want to basically say something because I knew that we was getting into the Afrocentricity. So I didn't want to say nothing about this, but I knew a couple of years ago. But let me explain it to you. But now we can understand what's going on. There's something different between Amun-Ra and Ra. Amun-Ra means the hidden God, and that's you. There's a God inside of you that's may remain hidden to the last days. That's the Messiah. Ra is a subordinate deity. Now, what happened was in the beginning. Now, if you go get the book Legends of the Gods, you can get the book Legends of the Gods by E. Wallace Budge. You can get From Fetish to God by E. Wallace Budge. And you look in there and you try to find the creation story. And they'll say the creation story of Ra, which was called the Book of Overthrowing Apep, the great dragon. Anytime you hear that word dragon, they're talking about the great mother. Okay? You ever hear that Babylon is falling and all that old shit about the great Babylon, the horror of Babylon? The divine horror of Babylon is the great mother. Anytime you hear the word Babylon, that's a sacred name talking about the feminine mother. So all y'all rosters up in here, y'all need to delete that shit from y'all vocabulary about Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. Because Babylon is the great mother. That is the true essence of the feminine principle. But we're talking from the Christian thing because they're getting this shit and borrowing this shit, and most of the symbology was lost, or either they turned it around because it also represented ancient dynasties. Now, what it is this. Let me give you the mythology and give you the history. In the beginning, the most profound one is in the Babylonian Genesis, called the, let me give it to you right here. This is this book here, Alexander Hadel's book, Babylonian Genesis. And I want to give you the name of it's called the Enuma Elish. The Enuma Elish, which is the creation. You're going to find it all in here, but if you can get your hands on this, you can get all of it in one shot. If you can get your hands on this Greek, this Hebrew myths, because they borrow heavy from this Babylonian creation. Now, in the beginning, before there were gods, there was the great mother, Tiamat, in Samaria and Babylonia, Ma'at in Egypt, or Nut in Egypt, or Apep, the great dragon. Later on, Apep, the hippopotamus goddess. Apep and Apep is one and the same. Tiamat is also called Layla in Islam, Lilitu in Hebrew, or Lilith in Hebrew. Different mythologies around the world. She's called Gaia in Greece. Now, she's ruling the forces of chaos, the great dragon. The God of the Bible comes in, and is called Marduk. The God of this is called Marduk in Babylonia. It's called Jehovah in some parts of Christianity, Yahweh. It's called Ra in Egypt, who overthrows Apep. That's the enemy to mankind, or to man. It's the enemy to man. So what you call God as a he is the enemy to man. The male deity that is supposed to be the Christ is Satan. Let me break this down to you. The true Christ that is supposed to redeem mankind does not come from the Father. He comes from the mother. Comes from the mother. That's Babylon and her beasts. You got to turn this shit all the way around. Now Jesus, to the lack of a better name, but Jesus is the same one, the child of the mother. You get the word, the Christ is the child of the mother. Y'all getting this? Anyway, let me go with the story. Tiamat was chilling. Her and Mamu, a god by the name of Kingu, and a god by the name of A. They were chilling in heaven. A younger crew of gods came about, and they were a little bit younger, and they were like billions of years old, trillions of years old, Tiamat and them. So they was a little tired. See, all this is a big family fight going on. The other crew came through, and they disrupted her And literally they overthrew her. They went to war with her. And because she was old, it's just like your grandmama chilling in the crib. You beat your grandmama ass and you tear her ass up and get the house. So they literally overthrew Mamu, Kengu, and all these older deities, what they call chaos gods, or what you call, or what they call monsters. They overthrew these gods. And they set up what is called creation in the physical realm. Then they took these same gods that they overthrew and they burned them up. And once they destroyed them, or they destroyed these worlds, they took the destroyed essence of these worlds and they made man and woman out of Tiamat, Aspu, Mamu, or the Titan. Greek, they made the destroyed worlds out of the Titans, Gaia, Kronos, and all these pre-deities. You get where I'm coming from here? The Bible makes man out of Lucifer, Satan, Leviathan, because Tiamat becomes Leviathan, the great dragon in the Bible. Get where I'm coming from here? Yahweh or whatever, or they call the great God of the Lord, makes man out of his mother, which make us the mothers and fathers of them son of a bitches up there. Now you can say what you like. If you can't get this right now, raise your hand so we can deal with it. It's not a matter of, we're not challenging, we want to get this thing clear to you. That we are not gods. The gods came after what they call the chaos beings, or the monsters, or the dragons, or the Satans fell. The gods came, took their energy and made man out of it. Meanwhile, man is the leftover excrement of the primal worlds, which you call the shadow, which you call the door. In the beginning there was darkness. See, the Hebrew just come and cut off the whole shit. They say we ain't gonna even tell a motherfucker about the time when them gods ruled. We just gonna say in the beginning there was darkness, which meant the great mother with the womb. Then God came. The later day dynastic Egyptians did the same thing with Ra. Okay? So, these gods, so we're going to do one better than that. We want to do this creation story. It's right in this book, Babylonian Genesis. We don't want to work. So we're going to take our mama and them and turn them into humans and hunting and gathering so they can do all the damn work while we just sit up in heaven and chill. Like a slave race. What's that?
Is that what so-called Zechariah Stitch and talk about the Anunnaki and all those?
Yeah.
And put them on a ship and they came down and the other gods and all those, some people over the Anunnaki, put the Anunnaki down here and went back and the Anunnaki got mad. That's what the so-called...
The Anunnaki is where you get the word Anpu, Anubis. That's a form of the Netta, the Nephilim, the Titans, the Satans. It's all what that is. Y'all getting this? It's all turned around. Remember, in all these movies, they say Satan is teaching the people that they must rebel against God. You're supposed to rebel against these motherfuckers. Now, let me go on. These gods are our children. This is something that nobody talks about. You only going to get this from me, and it's not toot my own horn. It's just that, look, let me explain something to you before I go on, so how you can understand this thing. You know how they hire, a person goes to school. So let me show you how serious this knowledge is, how much it's been hidden. You know how a person goes to school, let's say he's going to be a electrical engineer, and he has to go to one college, and he has to study for years just to learn all this shit. That's the same amount of studying you got to do to unravel these mysteries. So you think of a side job. No, this is what I do. 24 hours a day, this is what I do. When I'm functioning, laughing and all, I'm figuring this damn shit out. But see, the thing about it, they got white people, this is all they do. And that's how they got one on top of us. Because if the priest took 40 damn years to do this, that means I don't have a waking damn day, and I procrastinate. I'm 98% of the time I'm procrastinating. I just get the shit and all because I'm dedicated to it. You understand what I'm saying? Because I know this is what I'm living for. But you got, so what I'm saying, that's how, so my point is and I'm not tooting my own horn, but what I'm trying to say is, see, what I'm trying to say is this here. And we talked about this. Most of the people are getting into metaphysics. Well, metaphysics is see, you got a science of the universe. And metaphysics explains the universe. But I'm an occultist. That's different. That means I explain not just the universe, but the deep, dark mysteries of the grimoires that's behind the universe. And that takes an experimentation thing where you got to go in and you got to keep pushing the envelope until you get to the part. But you got to go into the deepest, darkest regions, which is the forbidden. That's why the Egyptians, they learn about the universe, which is metaphysics, the science of life. You can spend 1,000,000 years just marveling on that. But as they went closer and closer into the temple, they learned about the deep, dark grimoires, which is this stuff that I'm talking about now. So you're not going to get this from nobody out here. Not saying this here. A lot of white people know this. But what I'm trying to say is, and it doesn't have anything to do with that I'm more advanced than other people. What happened is this. Most of the people who come before you, a lot of the people that's real adept on this stuff, they're a lot older. You see what I'm saying? But with a certain part of age and stuff, they had to damn work and take care of families and all this kind of shit. I got into this shit right when my career was about to start at 28 and all that. I ended everything before I could even get my career going. So that means I got all this free time to do nothing but this, because the thing about it is I sacrificed everything for it. You understand what I'm saying? So therefore I could get further and all, because had it been a couple of years later, I would have had too much responsibility and I couldn't spend all my time doing this, because I would have had to have a career. So therefore I'm able to do, and it have anything to do with me, it's divine this way. By me being younger, or at the time when I started teaching at 30, I was able to do things that other people couldn't do because they had a responsibility. You understand what I'm saying? Because I gave up everything, I'm able to go and do this. And also what it does, it takes going to bookstores every damn day until you go and you run out of books on the whole East Coast. That's what I did from damn 89 to now. I bought up every book I could find. So now I might get 1 or 2 books every 2 weeks. But that's how much stuff so now going back to this particular part, what I'm trying to say is, you don't get this type of stuff and all because it was my destiny to understand this, because I had to sacrifice all to do it. Now, going back to what I'm trying to say. Because it's all turned around. So you still thinking of God in heaven and all that kind of shit. And I'm getting ready to explain it to you in a few minutes on how this thing is. We are the parents of God. It's just that we rebelled against our parentage because the knowledge of us was turned into satanic. This is something new. That's why if you look, most Christians say, when we look in the ancient world, Greece, Rome, Egypt, Babylonia, Samaria, we don't find no moralism. That's because they didn't need moralism. Moralism is something new for degenerative people. Okay? They say, but they also dealt with all kind of strange shit. You see what I'm saying? That is because the Christians took the whole underworld. See, in any mythology you got your day side and you got your night side. Now I got a thing here I'm going to be giving when we go on the break. You got a day side, which is angels, and you got a night side. The Christians took the damn underworld part and got rid of it. In order to become Christ, your soul has to go to the underworld and figure out the underworld to rise up. Now let me explain something to you. When we fell down here, the excrement from the primal worlds is what was left behind, that became what is called the shadow. Why is it called the shadow? It's a shadow of something in the past. Something before creation. You get it? Something before creation. Remember that? They talking about the movie Deep Impact. They talking about meteors. They said, well, a meteor is these particular building blocks before the earth and before this particular universe was created. These building blocks that used to create them, some of that stuff was left behind, and that's those meteors. Okay? Now they telling you all that bullshit. We've been living with meteors for damn years. You think now, why all of a sudden we so concerned about meteors when meteors could hit the earth for years? But they're not talking about that. They're talking about we must rid ourselves from the meteors. They're talking about the leftover people from the primal worlds. Well, who are these leftover people? For the mere fact that you got melanin, that is the excrement, the shadow, the stuff that is left behind that they call daemons of primal pre-worlds. You got the day star, which is the sun. Then you got what is called a beginning star. Now what does that mean? The word star and the words S-U-N, you get the word God, you get the word S-U-N, S-O-N means the word Al, or L. You ever hear the word L? That means sun. S-O-N and S-U-N. L or Al. The beginning is called Eve. Beginning Eve. The word Eve, which is mother, and the word El, Evil, means beginning star. The Christians say Jesus was in the beginning, he's the Alpha, and he's the Omega. Christ is the Alpha, and Christ is the behavior. Eve in the beginning, Al, which is star, the Omega, the sun. Evil is Jesus coming back. Depends on what you think evil is. When we got burned up, now listen to this. See, I'm putting it on the tape. If you're unclear, you got to go back and listen to the tape over and over and study it. That's why we do a tape. See, the lectures just to get some people up in there. We enjoy the energy and all, but you really learn when you go back and you get the tape and you study. You don't even have to even buy the damn books. You just got to just study, because as long as I document the books, the Kabbalistic universe, Zen, Zev Ben Simone Havey, the Babylonian Genesis, Alexander Hadel, the Mark of the Beast, Trevor Ravenscroft, and Tim Wallace Murphy. As long as we document the stuff that we're dealing with, you can go and get that later. If you just need documentation, because some people got to have proof. But we do give you the proof. We don't say, no, man, you don't need no documentation. You don't do that. You understand what I'm saying? We live in an information age. That's some nigger shit. The white man know that proof because black people left the proof. That's some Christian shit, just faith. That's what the white man taught him. That's the Freedmen's Bureau. Taught him, don't study, that's faith. That old bullshit, that's some idiot shit. Now, let me go into this. The excrement, the shadow, these primal things that was left behind is in you, that is called melanin. That's the dark substance. The aim, which is anti-Christ, which is the shadow of Christ, which is antimatter. There's matter, then there's a pre-state matter called antimatter. Okay? That's the Antichrist, the black Christ. Eve, beginning sun, other than the later sun, which is the holographic sun out there that don't exist. That's what's fooling your ass. That's what's fooling your ass. As a matter of fact, let me let you know, this don't have nothing to do, but this is going back to this experiment. I believe that every motherfucker in this country damn near crazy. Everybody. Most people in the damn secret society knows it. And because they have made schizophrenia and pathology, the norm, you can't register, you can't measure or register what the hell is damn sane or not insane. Because every damn shit is schizophrenic and crazy. When we say there's no such thing as functional families in America. Not even your family. Your motherfucking family full of shit. Or you got somebody in your goddamn family that's crazy. Even if you might have 4 of them motherfuckers you held together and say, I got these people. One of your cousins is a damn fool. One of your fucking aunts is a fucking fool. Nobody escapes this shit untouched. Now if I'm lying, my mama's a bitch with boots on. And my mama ain't nobody's fool. Am I lying? They ain't a functional family. White people is more dysfunctional than you. It's just that they got money to cover the shit up. So instead of they having 9 kids, by the time that motherfucker 25, she done had 7 or 8 abortions. They use abortions as a form of birth control. You see what I'm saying? But you getting all damn mystical. Well, that shit ain't so bad. You bring a child in this damn fucked up world. I mean, when you just look at it on what you call it, because even that don't matter no more. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's how we be having children. God put what he wants down here. He loves down here. At what rate? Just feeding them. The humanity that we talk about in the last days is no different than a roach. And the only one supposed to be allowed to come down here now is something you're going to teach. And if you can't teach it, you ain't got no business having it. Because it ain't nothing but a perpetual cycle. Don't be fooled with this mess. You see what I'm saying? The only reason why our spirits let us get killed the way it is because it was time to go. So the cracker taking us out, he don't know. I'm going to show you something in a few minutes. He helping us. You see what I'm saying? Because the quality of most niggas that fell by the wayside, they didn't need to live no way. Because right now, the only thing need to be down here is something about some damn sense. Go back and look at the Star Wars shit. The Star Wars was based off what? The Jedi Warrior, which is the black eye warrior, but it's also talking about the Jed pillar or the Jedi of Egypt. There's a book called The Return of the Ancient Serpent. The Return of the Return of the Serpent of Wisdom. The Return of the Serpent of Wisdom, something like that. And then they got a whole chapter on the Jedi of Egypt. And that's where, or Hemmitt, that's where George Lucas got the Jedi thing from. But listen what he said. You got to go back and listen to Yoda. That's why that's why we ain't got no time for fucking jokes. Oh man, you always serious. You always serious. Oh, there you go again with this shit. You always serious. This is what Yoda said. Yoda tells him in Empire Strikes Back. Okay, cool. This is what he says. He says that the Jedi warrior has to be the most serious-minded person. Yet they got us on TV acting like goddamn buffoons, joking and acting like damn fools. And they did the shit with this Desmond thing to test your ass to see could you get this slavery shit passed. Because the original drafts of this thing that them people protest about this slave thing supposed to come on TV, UPN, this Desmond the Pfeiffer. The original shit was some slave shit, but they changed the shit. But they was trying to monitor to see whether you was stupid enough to let that shit happen. They can let it go on for the mere fact that we protested it. You see what I'm saying? But all the shit is buffoonery. Acting like fools. See what I'm saying? Chris Rock sold the black race out, and now he's Man of the Year, GQ magazine. He getting all the awards, got an Emmy. Was on damn Vanity Fair magazine with a clown face. Here's a nigga in 1998 with a minstrel face on. And for the mere fact that we didn't kill him, the white man know that we ain't shit. Walk around here with $100 suits on, $600, $700 suits on, but we didn't cut that goddamn nigga neck for being a fucking minstrel clown. In 1998 on the fucking Vanity Fair magazine. That's the white elite magazine. with a clown face on. But they gave him an award because he came on HBO and talked about niggas like a dog. Now, it got passed because everything he was saying was true about black people. Now, in an all-black club, and he was joking about ourselves, that shit would have been funny. But he don't realize to say that shit in front of the white man, you ain't never heard no damn Jew get on the TV and talk about his race. You won't, the Arab, you will never hear no Arab come on the damn TV and talk about his race because he's too afraid that some motherfucker gonna go, Allah, Akbar, here go $1 million, go kill that son of a bitch. They don't play that shit. When what's his name made Goodfellas, what's my man name, he made Goodfellas. He made Cape Fear, no, not De Niro, Martin Scorsese. When them Italians say, we don't like that shit, that motherfucker ran over there and bowed down. I'm sorry. I apologize, because he know somebody get that nigga a sausage necktie. But for the mere fact that he did it, and he got his HBO special, he got the movie deal with the movie 48, another 48 hours or whatever that shit was. When he talked, Lethal Weapon, excuse me, 4. He got all that when he went out there and talked shit about niggas. And all the stuff he was saying, that's how he was able to get away with it. The shit he was saying, we said that shit is true about black people. But the thing about it, you don't say that in front of the white man. The white man don't deserve to hear nothing about your people. I don't give a damn if your people came and killed up 1,000 black people. I still say that motherfucker still divine. The damn cracker don't deserve to hear no shit. And for the mere fact that nigga did it, he's supposed to be dead. And they gave that nigga an Emmy award for that shit. But see, we buffooning. Did you see Lethal Weapon 4? In there, Mel Gibson tells damn Danny Glover to take off his clothes and act like a chicken out in the street. And when he does, he said to do the strike. He said, no, I just want to see whether you would do it or not. But that's the way they doing shit with our people. Now, going back to this particular part, let me close this out. We can go into a question and answer, but you got to hear this. Then I got to go. Then I got to tell them what this whole Y2K thing is about too. On another thing, this, did he talk about the Survivor energy? This shit manifested. That's why I say get your six-pack, because I'm getting ready to show you in a few minutes on what's going down. Then not on a few minutes, I'm going to explain that shit. I'm going to break it out the sky and put that shit right in your damn hands. And we can kick some ass soon.
All right.
Now, let me explain some stuff here. Because Raphael Patch's book says the Messiah will come when there's no longer a need for him. And right now it's too late for our people on the physical realm. Now it's time to go. Now let me explain this to you. After we fell, the shadow of that particular left behind substance, which is melanin, that particular substance was encased in the physical body. That substance, the word Set, is the adversary, that's the Egyptian Satan. Comes from, it's also the word Shet, or you get your word shit. Soot, Set, shit. The word Set means excrement in Egypt. The word shit is the ancient word shit is a name for the god Set. Okay? Which is the name for the god Set. It means excrement, something left behind from what is called the universe the original universe, which is now universe B. Let me explain this to you in a few minutes so you can understand this. In the beginning, this particular substance that they call excrement is left behind in us. Now, anybody know anything about excrement or shit? Shit is the only thing with potential. Okay. Ash. You ever heard the phoenix rising up from the ashes? Yeah. In order for you to rise, you gotta fall. You can't rise from on high. You already there. When we fell, we became higher than the gods that we fell from, because they can't do no more, because that's in the story. If you're already on a platform, in order to go higher, you got to fall. That means you have already reached your zenith. Now listen. In our body, that melanin, that excrement, just like any form of shit, if shit, when it first comes out, it's excrement. Ooh, it's all putrid feces and all that. But as you notice, shit is the only thing that gives life to something new. You understand where I'm coming from?
Yep, we get the concept.
What's that?
We get the concept.
That's right. Gives you something new. It is from the excrement of the shit that you get fertilizer to give something new.
Right.
You understand where I'm coming from here? To give something new. Light is born out of darkness. Not light born from light. Because the light that is born, the light that is, if you have a light and another light comes, that light that comes is always stronger than the light that you have there. You see what I'm saying? In the ancient mythology, before they got rid of the underworld, the Christ was, no, I'm going to do you one better than that. Look at this. In the beginning, in Greek thing, you got what is called Tartarus. Tartarus, chaos, Gaia, Eros was in the beginning. Then it fell. Tartarus is what you call hell now. In the Bible, they talk about the torturous serpent, Leviathan. Now, Tiamat, when she fell, in Alexander Hadel's book, as well as also in this book here, which if you get your hands on this one, you got some real deal stuff. Robert Graves' Greek Myths. Is Tiamat is Leviathan in the Bible. Okay? It's Leviathan in the Bible. Now, when she falls, she becomes the underworld, which is also the deepest part of your subconscious. And she has a baby under the underworld, and that baby is called the Christ. So the Christ is not coming from the Father. Based on the mythology, the Christ is born in hell. That's where the Christ is born. But Christianity tells you that Lucifer and Satan comes from hell. But in the Greek mythology, in the Egyptian mythology, in the Babylonian mythology, in the Gnostic mythology, Christ has come from hell. Osiris lies in hell, a mentor. And he gives birth to Horus, coming out of hell. The Bible tells you that you don't suppose the dog gonna look at hell because what's coming from hell is Satan. So when they say the beast will be unchained and let loose, that's the Christ. It's all the way backwards. You got to turn this shit all the way around. Now, if Leviathan is the great mother, but Leviathan ends up in the Revelation as the great dragon, and then Christ comes and slays the dragon, you know what that means? Whenever you have a damn baby, and that shit is coming out your ass, that ain't no goddamn pretty sight. As far as the way your ass feel when you having a baby. I wouldn't know. I just can imagine. Hurt me to goddamn poop the wrong way. So I know damn well having a baby can't be no goddamn picnic. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't nothing you gonna be licking ice cream when you doing this shit with. I'm talking on no phone. Dr. Ben said you were born out of violence, out of chaos. So when they say Jesus will slay the dragon is giving birth to the Christ. Her son. Get where I'm coming from here? The Anubis, or the dog, before it was Anubis, it was Set with the dog. That's the Christ, the dog stuff. You go get the Omen movie, he say, my father was a jackal. That's Anubis. That's the god on the Serious Mystery. That's this dog right here, which is the black and gold one, which represents melanin. Which represents melanin. Y'all getting this?
Yes.
Now, let me explain this to you so you can understand something. But let me throw this out, but let me break this thing down to you. That's the Serious Mystery by Robert Temple. Let me break this thing down to you because we got a lot more tomorrow. I really haven't even started the lecture. You should have said 3 days. Because I can do 5.
Sunday night, man. Well, you are Sunday.
You see, huh?
You are going to speak Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to speak some Sunday because I'll tell you, I can go a week. And I shake this thing here, you see. You know, I'm just grasping at straws. Now, let me explain this thing to you. The original Christ, Set Typhon, which you know as Satan. You got Set, you got Soot, you got Chaldean, you got Shaitan. In Crete you got Teton, and in Greek you got Titan. All that's the same thing. Set, or Satan, has a symbol. Or Satan has a symbol. Now I'm going to show you that Jesus and Satan is one and the same. And Jesus is the son of Satan, which is our sin. That's the good part about it. Don't get me wrong. We just use that word Jesus because that's what you know the Christ to be. Or we'll just say the Christ, but we'll say Jesus too because it doesn't matter. That's just a play on words. But listen. Set in Egyptian mythology is known because his symbol, one of his symbols, his most ancient symbol, is the symbol of an ass. And Jesus comes into Jerusalem doing what? Riding an ass. And it's saying that Jesus is born out of Satan because the ass is his damn power. What does the donkey represent? The donkey represents an abnormal energy of animal that goes against nature because it is created from what? A horse? No, wait a minute. A mule is created from a horse and a donkey, ain't it? What is it? Donkey, but the donkey is an abnormal animal that represents a regenerative type process, which, and I'll break this down scientific so we can close out, which means that it is something beyond nature when it is a degenerative type process. Now let me explain this to you because it's opposite nature. It's not the right order of things. The ass in the book Hermetic Magic. This is a book that's got these magical papyruses found in Greece that came out of the Library of Alexandria. This guy put this book together, Stephen Edred, E-D-R-E-D Flowers, Ph.D. Stephen Edred Flowers, Ph.D. In here, it's interesting because in the part of Set, I want to read this to you. Check this out.
What's the name of it?
This book is called Hermetic Magic, a postmodern magical papyrus of Abaris, the Abaris papyrus, which is original papyrus. So we're not dealing with somebody's philosophy. We're dealing with the original shit. It's coming from what you call it. So I want to read something to you right here under Typhon. I want to read something to you. Y'all bear with me because I just got to get through this. I don't want to... See, some things got to take a little time because I don't want to give you no incomplete lecture. Because it's more important that a person study this tape than us getting some enjoyment and you getting out and then we don't get the stuff complete for the people and everything else. But I want to show you this particular part right here in the particular book because he deals with something. Anyway, the word Typhon comes from the word Drakon, and the word Drakon means dragon, which is the so-called Tiamat in the Bible. Is also Apep, which was overthrown in Apep that was overthrown in Egypt, which is the dragon. But I want to read this to you right now. Bear with me. I should have had the shit marked. Though. I should have got it out of there. But anyway, I just wanted to read it so and so because it's also connected with Jesus in here. It's also connected with Jesus. Anyway, for example, the Tekem, which is a scepter carried by many Egyptian gods. Why is it that if Set was the enemy of Egypt, why is it that all the pharaohs carried this thing with Set on it? Because the word Tekem means heavy star material. That's in the book of, also the book of Serious Mystery. And heavy star material that they're talking about is also melanin. You ever heard the word stardust? Yes. That's melanin. That's where they get it from. It comes from the word Tekem, which means heavy star material, which is actually melanin. So anyway, he goes on to say that this is connected with Jesus in here because Jesus also comes into Jerusalem riding a donkey, which is also Set. So it's also saying he's riding a donkey, which means his energy is that of Satan. He took a primal energy to come back to destroy the damn earth. And the Bible is a riddle. It's an enigma and a riddle. For the initiate, you thinking of good and evil. For the high priest, is talking about necessary random forces. You see what I'm saying? Now, in the so-and-so, Samson, Sam, which means black, Sam, the word Ham, Cam, and Sam all means black. Sam, son, means the black sun or the hidden sun. Also, Samson is known as the star Sirius. Samson slew the Philistine with a jawbone of what? The ass. Now, the ass in Egypt, it's ass in Egypt, but also in Egypt, there's another thing. There's another particular entity that is the most feared entity of all the animal kingdom. What's the most feared entity of all the animal kingdom? You don't know. You thought that. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. A lion, you go into a lion's den, depending on whether he ate or depending on you don't disturb him the wrong way, you might can get up on that motherfucker. He might not do nothing to you. A shark, depending on whether he don't see no blood or whether he ate, you might survive. There's only one animal on the planet that there is no compromise. That's a goddamn crocodile. There's only one animal on the animal kingdom where the lion of my ass. There's only one animal in the animal kingdom that there is no compromise. You ain't getting in no crocodile path nowhere in his vicinity, and he spot your ass, and he ain't coming after your ass, and he gonna get up on you and swim around. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that shark shit. You didn't show the white man down there swimming with sharks. They say that Jaws did more to ruin the concept of it and make a deception about sharks than anything. They say that stuff don't have sharks are real peaceful animals if they don't see blood. And if they not threatened. But a crocodile, blood, no nothing. They showed one of these shits on National Geographic. They had these boys in this little cage. This shit bit the cage. It took one bite of the joint and bent the whole damn steel bar. So they ain't but one. So the crocodile was also a Typhonian symbol, which is pre-dynastic symbol of Set Typhon, which is the most feared animal. But isn't it interesting that the Messiah, the word Messiah or Meshi, comes from the word crocodile oil. And crocodile oil is what they anointed the Christ with. Or the Pharaoh was anointed with crocodile oil. Because crocodile is also called the dragon of Kim, and it's another symbol for melanin. So it also says that in the Hebrew thing, in the Messiah thing we're going to get into tomorrow, they talk about the anointing of the oil of the crocodile. But it talks about this particular crocodile, Meshi, and it says that this particular crocodile basically is talking about melanin. So to anoint, the anointed one is melanin. Over and over and over again, thousands of times. And I'm going to go into some other stuff tomorrow on this particular part. Y'all got to come back tomorrow, but we got to get into some things right now on the scientific evidence so to explain this shit a little deeper. Take it out of the mythological part, because some of you need to understand what's actually going on, so I'm going to put it in your face. Why you need to start getting you some six-packs and start partying. This shit is over. And now it is time, it's Miller time. It's Miller time. It's Miller time. We are actually living in the beautiful times. But I want to show you something right here. Let me get this little piece of paper. But I want you to get a book called, we got a blackboard here, I can draw it. I can draw this thing. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to draw it anyway because the camera won't get it. Let me draw this thing for you. In the book, Fred Allen Wolf, scientific book. So I'm all occult things and all that. I'm going to give you some science shit for you science people. Science book, this is what the cracker's studying. You studying all that old obsolete shit in college, and he's studying quantum physics, chaos physics, chaos mathematics, and all that kind of shit. Fred Allen Wolf book, Parallel Universe, which is it's in the science department. Now, in his book,
Sliders.
In his book, they show this. And I'm going to show you something right here so we can explain this hell concept so you can understand. You see, I'm not that demonic although I am, it's just that what happened is 2,000 years ago, this shit, they had to take the underworld stuff to explain the different concepts of alchemy and spirituality in its context. They had to take that particular thing and they had to turn all that into evil, because the simple fact, or they had to turn it into the devil and all that kind of stuff, or satanic, because in religion, you got to rule of people, you got to have good and evil. You got to have this duality. So as a result, they did away with this, and this shit went too far. You understand what I'm saying? The ancient person did not look at the concept of evil in the same way that you did. Evil, although it is evil, it's good. Depending on it's called a theory of relativity. Don't every time the white man want to get you to go die for his country, all of a sudden you go to jail for killing a motherfucker, but all of a sudden, in the stroke of a pen, that shit become good? Right? You supposed to go to jail for killing somebody up in here, but based on killing somebody is only a uniform away.
Right.
You put on a goddamn uniform, and overnight the relativity change. You got the authority to kill a motherfucker. And as we know, you don't have to be penalized about that shit. Okay? So, but the white man understands that there ain't nothing wrong with that. It's just that you don't understand the relativity. Evil is something you're supposed to use based on your situation. It's talking about the chaos part. You understand where I'm coming from? Now look. This is called Universe A. This is called Universe B. This is science now. Universe A is the universe that we live in now, which is creation. Which was created out of fragments of Universe B. Those fragments fell to the core. There's a goddess called Core in Greece, and she gives birth to a son, and that's the Christ, called Crystallus or something like that, in the core thing. You see what I'm saying? That core is what they call Satan or Leviathan. You getting this? Universe A, but the key is this particular part right here is called the beast. It's called the shadow. It's called Leviathan. It's called the dragon. But the original name is D-R-A-K-O-N, Dracon, and you get the word. You get the word dragon. You ever hear me? That's awful draconian. It means old. It means older than the earth. Actually, that's why they say it. You get the word dragon. You get the word Dagon. And later on, you get the word Dogon. Dogon is an African tribe. So what the hell is Dogon? If the dragon is that, what's the people named after the shit from? That's the Draconians or the Dragons. Now, this is the deal. This shadow is known as Satan. This is why the white boy keeps Satan or Shaitan. This is why he keep that religion alive and he go into science. Because he know you don't supposed to separate religion from science. And if you separate religion from science and history from religion, you become a goddamn fool in the religion. It's supposed to be history, science, religion, and all that shit. But just as much as you separate in religion, if you separate the dark side, which I've been teaching on since January, you completely destroy the mystery of Christ. You get it? Now, this dark side, you got to go through the dark side. This is Universe 8. This is over with. That's why it's got a thing of cycles, what they call eons or aeons. This is over with. We are now here at the threshold. But you thinking the goddamn threshold is evil. Which it is evil, but not in the context as you think. Satan, demonic. Y'all need to kill all that shit. One person say, you Satan? Say, yeah. Like some guy said, you Bobby Hemmitt? I said, yeah. He said, I went to see one of your lectures in 95. I said, yeah. He said, well, you believe in Jesus Christ? I said, yeah, I know Jesus. He said, well, Jesus told me that all that stuff you're teaching is falsehood. He said, falsehood. I said, well, you tell Jesus that motherfucker want me some goddamn money. Tell him I want my shit. You see that nigga, tell him I'm coming for his ass, he owe me some money. Now I already know that we the Christ, and even in the Jesus thing, we Jesus. He was shaking. Then I said, I'm gonna really terrify this nigga. He said, you talking to me, you gonna go to hell. I said, damn, man. I said, man, now don't go spoiling hell. I'm trying like hell to get to hell, and you trying to damn keep me from this shit, man. What's wrong with you? I said, man, I'm trying to go to hell. That's the whole key to this shit. Hell is the gateway to the other side. They tell you not to go to hell, and this is hell. And once you go through hell, you go to universe B, and universe B is this is the primal world that used to be up here that created universe A. This is now called hell. And from this you create universe B, which is a whole nother universe on the other side of goddamn hell. It ain't heaven. It's on the other side of hell. Hell is where we gotta go. I said, so you spoiling it for me, man, trying to keep me from hell. What you talking about? I said, you tell that Jesus, I'm coming for his ass. I said, you know that nigga. I said, you say you know, you talk to him, I might beat your ass just for damn associating with him. Because you talking to him, and I ain't seen you. That motherfucker said, that nigga here is crazy, man. And he start walking fast, and next thing I know, I was running after him, and he start running. And it was right. And I had some friends with me, they was all on the damn ground. Now, this is universe B. But I wish I could find the paper for you, but I want you to see this. I want you to see this. I want you to see the Fred Allen Wolf's book, because he says it right up in here. He says it right up in here. And I want you to see this, and I'm saying, y'all mugs, look, don't go and go get you some liquor. They even selling stump hole liquor. They marketed that shit. They selling white lightning. They selling white lightning in the supermarket now.
They show something like that on Lost. You ever see that movie Lost in Space? Mm-hmm. They show something like that because it is.
Yeah. But let me show you something. Fred Allen Wolf's book, Parallel Universes. Parallel Universes is the name of his book. I'll show you the picture tomorrow. But in his particular book, I'll draw it on the board. This is what he says. He says that what we call hell, or basically he doesn't say that, but anyway, it's the same concept, is this particular new universe B is separated from the earth from something called a black hole. A black hole. Now, here we go. So, what does this have to do with us? A whole bunch of scientific terms. The black hole. What did this shit have to do with us? What does this got to do with us? I'm sitting here in Trenton, New Jersey. You know what I'm saying? What the hell has got to do with the white man kicking me in the ass and all that kind of shit? What does this got to do with us? A black hole is way out there in space. What that shit that got to do with us? Well, let me go on first. I don't know if this came out the last time I was here, May 7th. When was I here the last time?
April 1st.
April, okay.
April.
And the last time was April what?
April 26th.
Okay. May 7th. Cosmic explosion, the cosmic explosion, biggest since the Big Bang. And they got this thing of a cosmic explosion that they got to invent new science to explain this new Big Bang. May 7th, okay? Then you understand why they got that Monica Lewinsky and that old Y2K bullshit. Throw your funky ass off. Let me show you. Next thing. Image is believed to be the first planet beyond our solar system. May 20th.
What date is that?
This is May 20th, New York Times. Okay? Alright? But this thing is extraterrestrial as you think. We bringing this shit right back home in a few damn minutes. I'm going to show it to you. Okay. These two things that they talking about right here. Now let me give you the history on this. They knew about this since July 23rd, 1995. Because July 23rd, 1995, that cracker called Bob something started, discovered Hale-Bopp, and they named it after him and the other guy Hale, whatever. Hale-Bopp Comet. Later on, you got all this remote viewing, and they was talking about this thing behind the Hale-Bopp Comet. Okay? Behind the Hale-Bopp Comet. And they had all the remote viewing, and they was all talking about this spaceship. 39 crackers killed themselves. Because of it. You know that Heaven's Gate thing. And all of that. You got your guy from Emory University, I can't think of his name, got what is called remote viewing, and he said that they remote viewed this thing and it was 3 times bigger than the Earth, and it was an intelligence. Okay? Alright, the government waited till the hysteria has died down. Then they said, no, we're going to go and explain this thing in the scientific terms, because by no means can we ever explain things in the spiritual terms, because we want people to, although they got a lot of all this religion, most people really don't believe in the spirit realm and all this type of thing. They believe in that religious shit. But they say, we can't really go out and explain it in the spiritual thing, because the people say, well, fuck y'all. So we'll explain it in our scientific terms, because most people still think scientific is synonymous, or science is synonymous to what? The white man. So we really explain it to us, because we are the epitome of science right now, because we don't think of science as being connected to us. We think connected to us is always dancing and singing. You see what I'm saying? And if not that, it's that old gospel damn music. I'm sick of seeing black motherfuckers in robes. You know, it's a good thing we just got, because right now I just feel like just going through and just a machine gunning them motherfuckers. Just like the motherfuckers, the German people. I'm tired of that shit. Church burning down. Church burning down. This damn Negro preacher out there, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, his church burning down. And he out there with his damn choir in robes singing. That's all we do is sing and dance and buck dance for the cracker. If it ain't gospel, it's all that other shit. All of it. Now let's go on. Hold on now. So you can understand this thing. He don't want you, so he said we're going to cool out about this thing behind this thing, and we're going to come back up and we're going to explain this thing. It's science. So he comes out with this, Big Bang, and he comes out with this particular star. Okay? And then he going to explain the science because he don't want you to still connect it with you. Then, all the shit hit the fan. It says it's got to be a universe, a black hole, before you get to this other realm. Okay? Shit done hit the fan. This is this week. A black hole, not in no Orion Nebula, not in no Pegasus, not in no Cassiopeia, not in no Aldebaran, not in no Arcturus. A black hole in the Milky Way, in the heart of our own galaxy. This is the same shit right here in these papers I showed you. a hungry beast rules a mysterious realm of cataclysmic violence. That's Satan. Ain't no cracker with no damn pitchfork. And in here he says that we don't have no kind of shit to explain this thing, because all the physics we got on black holes was done on black holes billions of light years away. So the mathematics don't equate to something when we look up and that shit is right in our galaxy. I'm telling you that the fucking Earth is sitting right now in the middle of a black hole. See, they can't come and tell you that shit. Now, Trevor Ravenscroft says the Leviathan energy will hit. There's a book called Beyond the Big Bang. Explain all this shit in scientific terms. They take the Egyptian mythology and they explain that shit in scientific terms. It's called Beyond Big Bang, a purple book. And in there they say Set Typhon or Satan represents the forces of chaos. In so many words, it's a nasty black hole. Okay, this is the key. Trevor Ravenscroft is saying in his book that this Leviathan energy is supposed to hit in 1998. Well, here's 1998 and we get this big ass black hole in the middle of space. And they're showing these pictures of this shit. In the middle of space. And you see it. You see the pictures? It's interesting. Why would they take a black hole and why would they make this shit look like a spaceship? Now, what we got to deal with now is the whole mothership energy. And so you can understand this shit on a higher level than some old big old machinery you get on. Let me explain the mothership to you. The mothership in ancient mythology is called the celestial ship of the north. The celestial ship of the north comes from what the word Draconis. And the Draconis is the great dragon, which is Leviathan, which is Tiamat, which is Apep, which Apep is called the great dragon. That's the mothership. There's a book called Celestial Ship of the North. They banned the bitch up until damn 93. Till I found it. It's a book. $35 from Kessinger's. Awesome piece of work.
It's back in print, brother?
Yes, in print. Celestial Ship of the North. It's dealing with all the Jeremiah stuff. But I was getting ready to say, Jeremiah got 6 volumes. You just need, Jeremiah got 6 volumes. You got Albert Churchward got 3 or 4 volumes, and you got Alvin Boyd Kuhn got about 2 or 3 volumes. You get Celestial Ship of the North, you got them all. Plus they combine Blavatsky. It's 2 books in one. One is history, one is astronomy, one is astrology, and in the back they got a glossary that is as big as a whole magazine with all the terminology. It's one of the baddest books on the planet. They banned this shit till 93. E. Valencia Stranton. E. Valencia Stranton. You can order it from Borders, but if you want to, the guy who sells the most Kessinger publication is a guy right in Philadelphia, the Reading Terminal, a guy by the name of Isaac. And all them Kessinger books out of print, he get them. So I would suggest that because he is a #1 distributor and a personal distributor of Kessinger books, you go to him and you can get the shits in a week or so, because he has direct line. But you got to get that book, Celestial Ship of the North. It's talking about the Great Mother, Apep, Leviathan, and all of that, which is the mothership, which is talking about something more. Honorable Elijah Muhammad was talking about a mothership. This, my friends, is the fucking mothership. It's a black hole. That's what it is. Now, don't get happy yet, because it ain't gonna be no shit with you get on some ship with your physical body. We're gonna bring this shit home. And what the mothership is. In here they say that they don't have the technology to explain this thing, because all what they got on black holes, they got from studying black holes millions of miles away. But something right next door, they keep telling that shit is, the earth is right in that shit. Don't let nobody fool you. When we come, it's about to come out the bitch. Called the wormhole. In the Bible, it's called what? Wormwood. Leviathan is supposed to be the great dragon up under the water. She's a serpent, a snake. The torturous serpent is her name. She is shown in the movie Dune where they get the spice from.
Yes. Yes.
The worm, Shahalud. That's Leviathan, which is your Kundalini. I'm bringing it back home to what this thing is really talking about in a few minutes. They say that they don't have the mathematics and the physics to understand this. Want to know why? Because all that what you see out there in the sky, I don't want you to get happy, that's only a hologram. It does not exist. It's a series of events that don't exist. It is a backdrop and a movie screen of some shit that exists someplace else. The shit that exists someplace else is inside of you.
Thank you.
Yep.
The black hole, the reason why they can't see the damn black hole, because the damn black hole is walking around working for their ass. And we're hanging around goddamn gas stations begging for quarters. See what I'm saying? With blonde hair and shit. Little old skinny ass, too tight dresses on. It was made for a little white girl, 12, a goddamn black woman got that shit on at 35 with a booty all hanging all out. Like he's saying, niggas is walking around 25, 9, 30 with snot in their fucking nose. You hear that shit? Niggas is walking around with snot in their nose. I seen a black woman goddamn 30 sucking her damn thumb in the fucking mall. We you talk about excrement, we are the putrid feces. But they say that's the shit gonna come out. When the cracker think he got it lit, it's coming from us. That's why he said, oh, we found the soul. Go get the movie Dark City. We found the soul. Now shut this motherfucker down. Shut it down. Go get the movie Dark City. If anybody ever hear me, you got to get the movie. That's where they putting it. Now, this is only a reflection of something else. Now, let's go into how this thing works right quick. Y'all bear with me. Some things you got to end. You see what I'm saying? Because we got to get it on tape. Let's get it on how it works. Okay, how does it work? Well, in this book, McGregor Mathers, Kabbalah Unveiled, says Leviathan is a judgment energy that's put forth to judge the damn world. As well as the Bible, in so many words, in Isaiah and all that, they talk about it, but in Leviathan, even in the Revelation, they talk about they unleashed the dragon. See, one thing about the Bible, although the Bible was used as an instrument of bondage and all this kind of fucked up stuff, if you read it from cover to cover chronology, it don't make no sense, and it's confusion. But if you read it after learning other kind of knowledge, all that shit is up in the Bible. It don't lie one bit. You just got to know how to damn find it. It's right there in the Bible. You figure that the gods, they said that the gods knew that this was going to be a chief book that most black people was going to be drawn to, so they said that every time the cracker would try to change it, or any type of force try to change it, they would go back in and in their translation, they would retranslate the truth. Every time they try to change it, because they knew prophecy. Now, in this particular book, this book is out of print, the Kabbalah Decoded, but this is the same book. But I can find it better in this one. And I want to show you something in here. I want to show you something in here right now. I'm going to read it to you right now so you can understand this. Bear with me. Bear with me. And I'm going to read it, and when I read it, you can understand. When I read it, I'm going to have to explain it to you, because they had this woman, she used to be on Knots Landing with the dark hair. I can't think of this woman's name. She was like the main star on Knots Landing. I can't think of this woman's name. They had her on politically incorrect.